Walking in British woodland today, with its diverse range of tree species that reflect the mild and gentle nature of our temperate climate, it is difficult to appreciate that for the past 2.5 million years, Britain has mostly been in the grip of the Quaternary Ice Age, the most recent of a succession of at least 5 earlier ice ages. During this time, our climate has been dominated by a succession of glaciations, periods of extreme cold, which have been interrupted by warmer periods known as interstadials. It is only during these interstadials that more temperate conditions have prevailed. Even though these episodes may last for thousands of years, they are but brief interludes in the more normal, frigid landscape when observed from the much longer perspective of a geological timescale. Even today, were it not for the warmth afforded us by the Gulf Stream, we would be islands of a subarctic nature. One quick glance at a globe, and it becomes apparent that London shares its latitude with more frigid locations, such as Lake Mistassini, James Bay, Lake Winnipeg, Banff National Park, and Lake Baikal. Geologists have established that the most recent glaciation in Britain, the Davensian, held us in its icy grip for 100,000 years. It is hard to imagine, but 22,000 years ago, at the time of the glacial maximum, Scotland, Wales, most of Ireland, northern England, and much of the Midlands was covered by a glacial sheet of ice 1 kilometre thick. The enormous power of those glaciers carved, sculpted, moulded, and eroded the ground, remodelling the landscape into the Britain that we so cherish today. It was around 15,000 years ago that the temperature began to rise year on year, gradually releasing Britain from its glacial mantle. Although Britain had been an island separated from Europe in earlier warm periods, at this time, as the land began to blush with returning vegetation, the outline of Britain was unrecognisable, consumed within the vast northwest corner of Europe, land that extended from northern Brittany around the west of Ireland, encompassing the Outer Hebrides and Shetland Islands to northern Denmark. Where the North Sea is today was a great expanse of rolling hills, valleys, rivers and marshland that we call Doggerland. Instead of the busy sea of the English Channel, the mighty Channel River flowed west through a broad valley into the Bay of Biscay, fed by many tributary rivers which included the Solent, the Rother, the Thames, the Seine and the Rhine. Connected in this way, so long as they could cope with the climate, animals, plants, trees and people could easily find their way onto British soil, particularly during cold winters when rivers were frozen and could be walked across. We know now that our climate oscillates from warm to cold under the influence of solar radiation, in concord with our Earth's orbit and the tilt of its rotational axis, with warm interglacial periods coinciding with periods of peak solar radiation. It is highly likely that, mocking our recent Brexit, the cold will return in the future to connect us once again to Europe. But don't rush out to purchase an Arctic parka just yet. We're only a short way into this warm period. The next cold phase is not predicted for another 50,000 years. It is also not yet known to what degree the effect of reducing solar radiation will be outweighed by our malign influence, which is causing the Earth to warm faster than on any previous occasion. While geologically cold phases tend to develop slowly and end abruptly, for the plants and animals, including people, that experienced the most recent change from an Arctic to a temperate climate during the last few thousand years of the Ice Age, the change was mercurial.